Hi. Nature is very responsive. Just like we have the Lord of the Rings, there's a reference to the ring as though it's something dark, and it says one ring to find them all, one ring to bring them together, um, one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them together, and in the darkness bind them. There are two interpretations to it. One is that it's a dark thing that that's about power and all of that stuff, and another is that it is um, a ring that heals, yeah, that brings people together and binds them in such a way that they maintain the peace of the land, which is what is actually meant by the Lord of the Rings, um, which I think is a wedding ring, yeah. Because when the wedding ring is holding the rings together, the circles of love together, the sacred geometry, for example, then we have a harmonious, humane, congenial life in a way that sustains all the kingdoms that's there. In different kingdoms of life and different life forms and how they show up, which is a ring of love. Now, a lot of us have a difficulty maintaining that, and which is why I think there's a reference to the book of Vishanti, or the ring, or the circle. What's it called as? Well, it's called as a book, but it's also called as the hole. Yeah, black hole maybe. Um, and there's a reference to the eye. Now, it's also what we see. What we see defines what shows up. Heisenberg principle, for example, the slit lamp exam is about you looking through the lamp, but it's also about what you see. But what you see is dependent on what is the constitution, the composition of your eye. If it has a lot of hurt, not healed, you're going to continue to see the thorn and not see the rose, and continuing to maintain that perspective. And unless you actually heal what you see, your sense and sensibilities, you continue to see hurt. Even if you have something beautiful, you will not be able to see beauty. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, which also again refers to our inability to maintain, um, to heal our sensibilities. Having said that, when I say nature is responsive, the fabric of time and space has those features. For example, we have had the corona, we've also had the HIV, the Spanish flu, yeah. So all of these are again different life forms. We've had the H1N1. These are different life forms which have showed up in response to how the fabric of time and space is. When the environment has been conducive for such forms to show up, life showed up, and people have been suffering in many ways. Yeah, and then when the conditions were more favorable and those environmental conditions went down, then we've had disease less. Now we've had the corona. Now we're hearing about the monkeypox, for example. But these are not new. They were there in nature in different countries, different places, and they have taken on a more virulent form. For example, corona became the COVID-19 and its variants, based on what were the behavioral and also the environmental conditions in which there was a spread or there was more prevalence of these life forms. Similarly, we have that's at a microbial level. Now, at a behavioral level, in terms of human beings, what kind of creatives we make is also dependent on what is our psychological make, what is our intellectual make. And according to it is the trend of the season, for example. Like we have different designs of the bike. So there's a particular design which is more fashionable, and hence you see many companies making similar kinds. Or there is something similar because that's a running trend now. So there's a certain thought pattern in what is more fashionable in terms of creatives, and hence accordingly is the apparently rise of certain kinds of people, or a certain ways of thinking. For example, so we have different sects of people, um, more professing, talking about a certain kind of how to live life, or what is a new better, and accordingly is apparently what we can call as a rise of civilization, so to speak. But that kind of thinking, just like how we've had a corona, you would have different people talking about health or how to live life or what is the new, this is a new cool thing, and hence, more power. And these have been some of our things that has been um, holding our attention, because we would like to have power, because otherwise we are in different states of helplessness and wanting liberation from dukkha and those kinds of things. So, so power is quite a draw, and also money. Those who have money have the thing, and those who have power have the thing, and it's a cool thing, and then it's about what there's been certain cater to it, but the point is missed on there's a similarity in what is getting created, is also dependent on what is the health of the fabric of time and space. So we've had the Spanish flu, we've had the H1N1, we've had the HIV, we've had the corona, yeah. And similarly, is a different behaviors. There has been war tendencies, yeah. There, for example, even Sri Lanka has seen its own power-based um, dynamics, and then we are looking at how to maintain peace between different countries, between different borders, so that we are having more peace-based interactions and human interactions, and not the war-based, which is quite outdated, quite old, and quite distressing to many people. So, what I'm alluding to here is, as the fabric of time and space heals, becomes more kinder, humaner, we see less and less diseases. We see less and less strifes between boundaries, between different groups of people, different religious perspectives, for example, on how we see life and what we see is possible from um, having the body we have, the body of light we have, how Earth is, the health of how things are, and consequently what we create, what we are more interested in, what is it we are focusing on, and consequently what's our experience of living, how is our economy shaping up, how is our everyday interactions, what is our normal ordinary living, normal ordinary life in one country versus another country, one culture versus another, and then what are we creating, what is our currency of exchange, all take shape based on how the fabric of time and space, how the fabric of our body and mind heal, and which is also what is called as yoga. But and that's the benefit of yoga, when we are integrating disparate aspects, and we are experiencing coming together. What in my perspective is the wedding ring, where we are maintaining what we know. We know what it means to be married. We know what that ring stands for, and what is it holding together. And when we are working together to maintain the circles of love, not just where we can see, but also future generations, contemporaries, and all of them have their relevance, have their um, existence, their health, depending on what we're doing today. And each person is born to a set of parents, is born to a lineage, and we have people of different age groups. So when we can maintain that humanity in the fact of having a human body, and that people are in different stages of growth, and that how we are experiencing life now is likely to be some version of it. When we are maintaining the health now, then chances are that the health of what we are practicing now is what's going to be also experienced by future generations, and how we can better it. So that's a perspective on what is available through healthier natural breathing, which is a course that I'm developing. This helps us come home to the beauty there is in having a human body that we do, and being able to breathe in such a way that we're healing the disparity, disjunction, if there may be any, between the mind, our idea of mind as life, like the life we live is a mind, and the body we have is a heart, and of bringing together any disjunction between the mind and the body is in many ways bringing together the rings so that we are able to hold within our own composition, our own constitution, love, in such a way that that they're not, that we're maintaining the health of mind and body. I'll leave the link in the bio for anybody who may be interested in getting started already. I highly recommend. Do join. Thank you for listening.